release our inner selves from the spiritual death that comes with living behind a facade designed to conform to external definitions of who and what we are. Like a vampire who takes the very lifeblood from the innocents who fall under his spell, so too the eating disorder takes the very life spirit of those who relentlessly pursue the seductive belief that their true selves do not measure up to societal expectations and substitute a perfect self in order to be acceptable. Recovery involves a reclaiming of one's true self, giving up the eating disorder identity, making peace with one's body, shifting away from negative self-talk, relinquishing a victim mentality, and staying optimistic despite setbacks and difficult times. As Dan Millman, author of Way of the Peaceful Warrior, said, "You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you." Life Beyond Your Eating Disorder is a true recovery guide for individuals at any stage of eating disorder treatment or recovery. It is also excellent for families and friends to better understand how to provide support while maintaining their own lives. The book provides a candid, comprehensive look at the ups and downs of recovery and offers tips, resources, hands-on tools, and strategies for breaking free from the distortions and beliefs that make up the world of the eating disordered individual. The book is exceptional, as is its author. Adrian Ressler, M.A., LMSW, National Training Director for the Renfrew Center Foundation, President, International Association of Eating Disorders Professionals, IAEDP. Preface. My mission. I learned this, at least, by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. Walden, Henry David Thoreau. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist or a nutritionist or a doctor of any kind. But I have been an anorexic, an exercise bulimic, and a binge eater. And if either you or someone you love is struggling with an eating disorder, I can honestly say that I know what you're going through. Maybe not the day-to-day details, but certainly the physical and emotional landscape of your struggle. Perhaps one of the most important and startling things I learned, both during my 10-year battle with an eating disorder and during my recovery, is just how much ignorance, misinformation, fear, and stigma are still attached to eating disorders, even in the midst of the so-called information age. The entire time I was struggling and during my recovery process, I never knew anyone who had successfully recovered from an eating disorder. Truthfully, I didn't know if recovery was even possible. All I knew was that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I decided to seek help. As I began my own journey to recovery, I vowed to myself that if I were given a second chance at life, I would do everything in my power to dispel some of that darkness and bring eating disorders awareness and information into the light. I strongly believe that no one should have to struggle with or recover from an eating disorder alone. 18 years ago, when I first began to develop my eating disorder, I had no idea how many people had the same terrible disease. I honestly believed I was one of the very few. But here are the facts. According to the Eating Disorders Coalition, today, in the United States alone, approximately 10 million women and 1 million men are struggling with anorexia or bulimia, and 25 million people are battling binge eating disorder. Eating disorders do not discriminate. They affect men and women, young and old, and people of all economic levels. You need to know that anorexia nervosa has the highest mortality rate, estimated to be up to 20%, of any psychiatric illness. And only 1 in 10 people with an eating disorder receives any kind of treatment. Those figures make me sad and are quite simply unacceptable. As I began to recover and find my strength, I kept the promise I had made to myself all those years ago.